My wife said, hey, how you doing there? See, we have Miss Lisa Severa. How you doing, man? Nice to meet you. And this is my wife, Starla.
How y'all doing?
This is my first time doing a live, and I wanted to go to the best of my ability. Again, like I said, me and my wife went through being targeted individuals. Now, of course, as you see, we're powerful individuals. And I just wanted to go ahead and just touch bases with anybody that had any questions, particularly to the Gangstalking. Again, I know you have so many people that say, hey, those guys probably never been through it. But hey, we're here to tell you, we went through it. We went through it for the fullest. And it was a unique experience, but we ended up learning from it. And what I want to first say to everybody is this too shall pass. And when you're going through it, you welcome Miss Kaja Brown. I'm sorry if I said your name incorrectly. You can see the readings on the side.
Okay,
again, it's our first time doing it. Why are we gang stalked? Okay, perfect question. So every answer that I'm gonna give, if I don't know it, I have no problem with saying I don't know the answer. I'm gonna give these answers from our experience, from the start to the middle to the end. Now, I know in our experience that you're gang stalked because you're chosen, which means you are one of the people that have the ability to reshape reality through your thoughts, which is why they always gang stalk us 24/7, and they consume my thoughts with, oh, I see him. There they go. Did you see that tag? Why are they harassing us? The truth is, what we're all having is a spiritual awakening. And as you see right now in the world, you see how the whole world is falling apart, which is why we always say this is the age of Aquarius. In order for this world to maintain, they need people like us to keep negative thoughts of anger, thoughts of misery, torture, torment, because whatever goes into our subconscious minds, we create into reality. And it's not easy. I mean, when people are harassing you in cars, like what
when you're sleeping,
even when you're sleeping
upstairs and different things,
it's bad,
constant.
And they're trying to do this. And I see Miss 100th Monkey. I always get. I love you. So thank you for joining in. So yeah, they're stalking you because they want you to create a negative reality. They want you to live in fear. Have you ever noticed how when you go to the grocery store, the gas station, the first thing that we're trying to help you manifest? Hey, thank you. You're always supportive of all of the videos, and I want to thank you so much. And I mean that. You as well, Miss Lisa and Miss Brown as well. But yeah, y'all come give me some questions. I want to know some of your experiences so that I can assist. Because again, I know me and my wife went through a time period that a year went by, and I was making YouTube videos for people who never experienced gang stalking. I was doing my spiritual awakening and conscious videos. And I remember sitting to my wife and I was like, listen, man, this is not fair. I said, I don't care if the people want to call me crazy again, or talk about what my statements are. They are very unhappy and miserable. Yeah. Don't want to be that way. You're right.
When you were saying for a whole year, I thought you was about to say when I did not believe him, y'all, for a whole year about this gang stalking stuff.
That's right. Hey, so that's true. So hey, listen,
whole year he did this by himself alone. Yeah. I did not believe. I couldn't see it. I didn't believe him. It was crazy.
And I'm glad you brought a topic up, because I want to say this to some of you. If you're still dealing with people in your family not believing what's going on, I have to say this: the journey is actually per person. It's like a journey that you have to go within yourself. And I'm about to 1 second. Miss or Mr. 100th Monkey says, I've gang stalked this IGS this 15 years. I was too drunk and too high to realize what was going on. Sobered up a year ago and put it all together. I haven't told anybody. Man, that's deep.
Wow.
So to be honest with you, can I be honest? That first year when I was experiencing being gang stalked, I tried to do drugs to cope with it. I mean, imagine coming home to your wife every day. Baby, Starla, these people are doing this. And she's like, you're crazy. You're losing your mind.
I thought he was crazy.
Our egos attempt to try to force feed it to to do away with the reality that's really going on. And when I made the decision to say, you know what, man, I don't care if she doesn't believe me. I know what I'm seeing. I know what I'm experiencing. I began to let go of like having to, force feed myself drugs, and it actually helped me cope with the situation that was going on. Hold on, I had another one from everyone around me is watching everything I do. This is Miss Lisa. They follow my son in his chair, stalk my kids, just glad they're aware.
Yeah.
At 12 and 17. Hey, when you're saying that, hold on, I almost want to see if my daughter.
Get on the bus with our daughter.
With my Texas. Son, they used to get on the bus with my son and look forward at him. Now, my son didn't believe us at first either. And he didn't understand it until later, but he said, Daddy, this grown woman gets up in the bus, and no matter what seat I sit in, she sits in front of it and just turns around and looks at her. And what they're trying to do is, again, you are the children of the light. That means you are the people that's going to usher in this new world. They're actually attempting to destroy your family and destroy you. But I'm glad to know that you guys are holding strong, because this will pass. Listen,
that's right.
The only reason we're here telling you this is because there's no gang stalkers here. We beat it. We really did. And I just want to share that experience with you as well. I've seen commercial airplanes so close I could throw a rock at them. Hey, it's funny that you said that as well. You remember the yellow helicopter that used to follow me from work? So I worked like probably 20 miles from here. And I used to drive, and the helicopter would literally hover over where my car was at all the way until we got to my house, and then they'll make circles around. I want to address some of this, and I'm going to get back to some of the questions. Well, let me answer one more question I want to address why we have to change our focus. Miss Brown says, if you found yourself isolated because you can't trust anymore due to mental disorientation, how do you regain trust from family and potential friends? Miss Brown, that's kind of what I was going to get to. So just give me 5 seconds, because I really want to answer that question. Sometimes we perceive that it's the them that's doing this to us. And I know a lot of people might disagree with me when I say this one. It's actually the universe giving you the opportunity to level up. And you can only level up by using them. So I'm going to explain that, Miss Brown. You know how you got a car and it has the positive and the negative cables for it? So let's use the gang stalkers of the program as the negativity, and you are the positive outlet. Both of them have to connect together to create power, which is source. It's power. So you're looking at it as, and this is how we did it first. You're looking at it as, oh man, it's them against me. But actually, you two are working together to formulate your higher consciousness.
That's right.
So when you're isolating yourself, it's because, think about it. Just be honest to yourself, Ms. Brown. If you were able to go out and do the same things that you've always done, we will probably never change who we were.
We wouldn't.
I used to, like I tell everybody, I used to sell drugs. I used to be a hustler and all this stuff, gold teeth in my mouth. That's what I thought I was. And when I had to isolate myself, what it was doing was it was making me go within to realize who I really am. She had to do the same thing to realize who are we really? Am I really the person that sags pants and wants to be the thug, or am I a human being? So the isolation forces you to go inside to become the being. And I want to say this to you, Ms. Brown, and I'm going to answer some other questions and also discuss why we have to change our attentions. It's without this effect happening to us, we would never manifest this abundance. We'll never become our higher version. That's right. I know need duality. Yeah.
I'd have stayed in the 3D world.
Yeah.
Believing this world is real.
We needed duality in order to level up.
That's right.
I'm gonna answer one more question, and I want to talk about why we have to quit focusing on what's going on there and focus on what's going on here. Because the whole world is going through this now. Not gang stalking, but they're going through quarantining and having to self-reflect inside of themselves. This is ordained by the universe, you guys. This is the age of Aquarius, baby. You get what I'm saying? Like this is not a time to, no. You should be proud and happy that you're living this experience, because you're going to be one of the forerunners of this new creation. They showed me their energy gun. Oh, now, I'm glad somebody else brought up that topic about that. So I used to keep a camera in my window in Dallas, Texas, right? And it was outside of the window so you could see everyone. During this time, I never experienced, so I'll be honest, I personally never experienced the putting thoughts into my mind. But I will tell you 3 people that I know that have, one being my wife. Me. Okay. They would make my wife hear cell phones ringing. She was believing that I was FaceTiming and texting
up under the cover right beside me. I could physically hear it.
When she pulls the covers back, there's no phone.
Ooh.
And she said, no, it has to be a phone because of the thing. So I'm starting to say, like, what's going on? I'm thinking, is my wife going crazy? I said, but no, I'm not going to call people crazy anymore because for a year she called me crazy.
Yeah.
And I remember going back looking at the film, and a guy had a thing out in a black truck, and it had like a circle piece on it, and it was blue lights, and it was pointing at my window. Now I went back and checked the date. It was the same time of my wife going through her experience. Mm-hmm. Y'all, 1 second, please. I'm sorry. But I want to touch on that topic. Cancel their offer. They canceled it. And that's fine. I'm sorry about that, you guys. Shouldn't be focusing on my text message. She said, good question, Kaja. Hold on. If I found yourself isolated, she said, good question. I could tell crazy stories, but I don't care about Gangstalking anymore. Hey, listen. Now we're going to get to the main thing. Focus on developing myself.
That's right.
So if you're watching this now, the key, again, I told you, we're going to talk about the key of defeating it. And this is not going to be easy. Let me say this one more time. It's not going to be easy. I bought GoPros and all kind of cameras.
Ooh, I don't know how many SD cards.
I have bags
of
SD cards. And Mr. Or Mrs. I still don't know. Please let me know if you're a male or female 100th. 100th, I believe female monkey. I want to say this. That person is right. The objective of the program or this game that these people are playing is for you to focus on them. Mm-hmm. That's why they showed you the energy gun, because they know that you create your reality through your thoughts. So it's as simple as this. If I continuously show porn to a kid and that's all they keep seeing, his mind's going to be focused on sexual orientation.
That's right.
If I show violence, like in the black neighborhoods, they always have rappers that's talking about guns. And then you ask yourself, why is there so much violence? Mm-hmm. See, they're creating what they're seeing. Do you remember the monkeys that they used to show us as kids? It said, hear no evil, speak no evil, and see no evil. Mm-hmm. Well, we found on our spiritual awakening journey that by what you see, by what you hear, by what you focus your attentions to, you create. So the second that I heard source or the universe tell me to take the cameras down, I thought, hey, wait, the camera's the only thing that's saving me, right? Mm-hmm. And I didn't understand why. I just was tired. I said, I'm willing to try anything. It told me to start focusing on the trees. And in that process of noticing the trees, like the trees that's in front of me now, I began to hear things like the trees speak to me and say, Trey, it's more of us than it is of them. And I started noticing that slowly but surely, let me say that again, slowly but surely, the Gangstalking ended. Mm-hmm.
It did.
Actually, we had people, I want to say this to you guys. I hired a guy that gangstalked my family, stayed next door to me. He came and apologized. It's because our frequencies shifted their reality. It changed them, the essence of what they were, and we no longer reflected that energy back to us. And to get enlightenment, and we began to manifest prosperity. So, Mr. Monkey or Miss Monkey, that was excellent. I feel sorry for you, bro. I'm a man. Oh, hey, well, sir, Mr. Monkey, sir, I thank you for saying that because that was head on. The one I seen looked like a gun, but instead of a solid metal, it was made of wires and smaller. I didn't notice that they hate. No, Miss Severe, I want to say this to you. And again, I'm only speaking from my experiences. My experiences, they don't hate being filmed. It's a perception. Mm-hmm. It's kind of like if I make you perceive that this is stopping me, then you'll keep doing it, right? It's a part of their programming. They're the purpose of trained to do this. They're trained to make sure that you focus on them. So by recording them, you actually are focusing on them and creating that. So their handlers are saying, great job, because you have her mind focused on you by recording, which is why we had to let it go. And that's how we began the process. Matter of fact, the day I took my cameras down was the first day that I actually began the process of starting to dissipate that. Mm-hmm. Yes, they always make noises and try to get your attention. Yeah, because that's the objective, is to get your attention. Because they know that you create that miserable reality by focusing on them. If you don't have, Miss Brown, if you don't have a strong support system, but no isolating is a bad idea, what do you do in the time you have no one to rely on or comfort you? Perfect. I have the answer for that one. You guys are actually answering stuff that's in my forte. What I began doing was going out into public. Again, you're not going to be able to have the ability. I'm not going to say you're not. Let me not say that. The universe has different guidance for everyone. I did not. The first year when I had no support, zero support, no one believed me. I was the kooky man, right? Mm-hmm. What I started doing was going out into public. And I said, if your objective, and this is when I was still focused on it. Mm-hmm. I said, if your objective is to make me look bad, then I'm going to be the best individual I can be out in public, because all of you in life are not gang stalkers. So I started going to stores and holding doors and people say, hey, I said, thank you. So I said, oh, you're welcome, ma'am. Going to cash registers and interacting with humans that way. And what that was doing was, it was actually, I started to now focus my attentions towards positivity. Mm-hmm. Thus forth, my reflection began showing me positive things.
You basically became walking love.
It became walking love. So when you're isolated like that, and it's not easy, you have to focus on how you can make yourself a better person. Some of the things I did was change what I listened to. I started changing my diet and what I ate. I started reading books, something that I never used to like doing. I began to listen to music like Coldplay. Like, dude, I listen to Future and what's the guy, Young Thug. Now I'm listening to Coldplay. Mm-hmm. And what I was doing was, since I'm isolated, I have nothing but time on my hand. I said, let me see how I can make myself better. And by doing that process, you speed up the manifestation of getting rid of or getting over the targeting individual, or being a targeted individual, and start tapping into being a powerful one. Okay, thank you. Got it. My hardest problem right now is healing my ego. I've been hurt so much that I'm cold and numb. I need to let that go. Well, Mr. 100th, you have answered that question. And it's not an easy process. I want to say this to you. And again, I'll be honest. I just got them being in the house fussing. Me and my wife was arguing. And it was because I was reflecting what was inside of me. And I saw it on her. And in the same way, she reflected what was in her onto me. Healing the ego is a lifelong process. I believe that the ego is not something that should be killed. It should be submitted to the soul, or the being of ourselves. So what I started doing is, I punish my ego by saying, okay, I know what your wants and your likes are, because I am you. When you act out of character, when I don't give you order to go, then I'm going to pull things away from you. For example, I told myself that I could eat fish. I'm a what do you call it? Pescatarian. Mm-hmm. I eat fish. So I know that my flesh loves eating fish. So I said, okay, when my ego sprouts, I said, you know what? I'm going to fast fish. And I can hear myself like, oh God, I don't want to do that. It's the process that I learned. Like I was telling Miss Sylvia and Miss Brown, I learned that process of learning how to suppress the ego while I had my isolation time. Because think about it, how can you work on yourself when you still have the movies to go to, the bars downtown, and the friends are calling? You don't really have time to self-reflect on yourself. So when you're going through this, what I call the dark night of the soul, pescatarian, thank you. Hey, listen, I love you, bro. 100th, I love you. Pescatarian, thank you. Because I said Presbyterian. I think that's a religious group or something. So Presbyterian. Yeah, and it gives you the time to do that self-reflective work on the ego. And again, me and my wife experienced, like I'm telling you guys my truth every day. The ego is a hard thing to do away with, but the ego is what's focusing on the people. Can I prove that to you? I asked myself a long time ago, I said, I'm doing this for my family. Man, if somebody touched my kids, man, I wish somebody would. One of these gangstalkers would touch my wife. And I realized that it was my ego, because the only topic was mine. It was just me. So when the people are gang stalking, it's not affecting you because there are gang stalkers. It's affecting the ego because it's happening to you. Yep. So the actual gang stalking tactic is actually a part of working on your ego. The second that it no longer affects you, then you know that you've leveled up. And that's that leveling up that I talk about. You realize that, hey, I leveled up because this no longer affects me. And it makes it dissipate away. I have something from Twin 29210. says, how can they track you in all the time? How can they track you all the time? I want to answer that, but I don't really know the answer to it. That will go into conspiracies. I haven't sat down with those people to find out how they're doing it. My guess, and again, this is my guess, which I like not to focus on that because it's drawing my attention into what they're doing. I'm believing that they're using artificial intelligence to be able to track you down. See, everything that we do, even this being on YouTube Live right now, it's all a part of us being in technology.
Yeah.
Technology meaning taking knowledge. Remember that. Technology, to take knowledge. It's we're so attracted into the system that they have us in a grid. Now, I want to say this to you, Mr. or Mrs. I'm sorry, twin 29210. Those questions on my journey. Again, I'm not telling anyone what to do. I'm not a guru. I can only give my experience. Those are the questions that keep my mind's attention on Gangstalkers. How are they doing this? Why is it happening? What technology are they using? And what I found happens is it takes me down into a rabbit hole, and it makes me focus all of my life on them, which is what their objective is. Because if you can't see them or you're not focused on them, then Gangstalking goes away. I had another question that I saw. Being thankful and grateful changes perceptions. Miss Severa, say it one more time. Being thankful and grateful for what you have is how you change your perception. I love that. I love that. I actually think we had a video about the changing of perception. Yeah. It does. Like for example, let's say I was being gangstalked right now. I should be grateful that I have a porch, a jacket, happy that I'm not stuck out in this rain outside. And the more that you focus on that, I think Ms. Brown asks, like, how do you focus on something else? The more you focus on that, it takes the 24 hours a day. I'm starting to go from 24 hours focused on Gangstalkers to 2 hours to being grateful for the things I have. You can't do two things at one time. So now I have 22 hours a day I'm being gangstalked. So then you fill that in with something else. Let me spend 2 hours to focus on my children only. So if I'm focused on them only, I don't have time to focus on them. Now I'm down to 20 hours only being gangstalked. And as you gradually find that process, what's going to happen is you're going to become a bigger person. And I'm telling you that this too will pass. And then you're going to say what we always put on our quotes. The power has been with you all along. Miss Kadra Brown asks, she says, humiliation and mockery has been my biggest triggers since my targeting began. How do you deal with people laughing at you as you suffer in your misery? I'll give you an answer to that one. I'm going to answer that question by telling you what they used to do. Before we stayed at this spot, we stayed in an apartment that was a luxury apartment. And we tried to go out to the swimming pool to access it so my kids can enjoy swimming. What those people did was they came out with wine glasses. It was like some people from a foreign country. I hear the accent. And they had the lower ranked perps or whatever you want to call them. They had to sit back and just stare at us, you know. And they act as if their life was so beautiful, and they're just laughing. So this is my answer to that, Miss Brown. And I made a video about this one as well. Whose life is really in more chaos? Yours or theirs? Now, let's think about it. This is that perception that Miss Silvera was saying. Their job is to live your life.
That's miserable.
Let me say that one more time. Their job is to live your life. So if your life is bad, can you imagine how messed up their life is? Can you imagine that? Just put yourself in their shoes. My job is to every day follow you, walk out the house when you walk out. I might have been using the restroom, but they say, hey, he's outside. You're looking at the phone and you're noticing the thing is moving. I gotta go. I had a girl cry because I said, you know what? I noticed that every time I come out this door, they have to come out. I said, hey, I'm off work for the day. I made my business go in and out that door. And you remember the African-American girl, she ran out crying. I don't want to be a part of this anymore. And the perp guy was sitting back looking like she's breaking protocol. And I realized that was the first day I realized, I said, wait a minute, you guys are in more chaos than we are because you can't even live your life. So that perception of laughing at me, that's illusion. You're trying to get peace and joy off of seeing me sad because you're miserable. See, a happy person doesn't go around looking for misery. Remember that. So when you see them riding in the cars, it look like they're new model cars. You ever notice that? Look like they're driving good cars and got good clothes on. That's a perception to make you believe that their life is beautiful. Their life can't be beautiful.
They're just sucking your energy.
They're just sucking your energy. Listen, remember this. When you plant a seed, you reap that harvest. So if they're planting miserable seeds, can you just imagine what's happening to them? We haven't even tapped into what could be going on with those people. I've learned, this is from Mr. 100. I've learned so far, be grateful, forgive yourself and others. Let yourself be vulnerable and stop trying to control everything. That namaste. And that's something that you learn further on that journey experience. So if you haven't experienced what Mr. 100 is saying, you're gonna begin to experience that. Miss Silver, thank you. I feel my happiness and consciousness elevating from this. Thank you. No, thank you, because it's you that's creating your happiness.
That's right.
You are doing that.
Only you.
Hey, look at
control.
You're in control. Look at the funniness of this to prove to you that you're creating your reality. Miss Severa, you are focusing right now, your attentions on this screen, and you're watching my little ugly face, right? And because you're focusing on positivity, it's reflecting in your reality. You know, Dennis Allen, I was waiting for you to come in. How you doing there? How you doing? Uber haters, super haters, and they're haters. Good points. Tress, namaste. I don't care what they or anyone thinks about me, which helps. And that's a part of the spiritual journey. You start realizing that nothing outside of me exists, and everything is a reflection of what's in me, which is why the universe isolates you, or you would assume it's the Gangstalking that isolates you, but it's actually the universe isolating us to realize that. And I want to say something on that topic. Me and my wife, listen, this is no joke. We fuss, we argue, we get back strong because that's our conscious level. That's how we're leveling up. But I want to say this. We had people call us and we just died laughing, or we lived laughing. They said, hey, how y'all doing right now? I said, man, we're doing awesome. This is the same stuff we've been doing. Like we prepared for this, right? And they said, one guy said, Trey, another guy called and said, Trey, you install the property. The only people I know that this ain't affected. I said, why you said that? He said, but this quarantine. He said, because you found out how to have peace when there was no peace outside of you. See, right now on the planet Earth, people's peace is being taken from them because that peace that they had was fairy tale, was fictional. It wasn't peace from within. See, if the bar, if the club, if communing with your friends makes you happy, then you've never found happiness. But when you all go through this process, I promise you, it doesn't matter if, I mean this seriously, guys. You could take everything from me and my wife. You could strip us naked, have nothing, and we have peace. You know why? Because during the process of Gangstalking, that's what happened to us. We had to find it. And this is the process that we all are going through right now, man. And it's a beautiful thing. Love you guys. And we love you too, Miss Severa. I feel I've been digging through the rabbit hole for years, deep. I'm at a place where I can see the light breaking through. You making me smile at this, and the other side. And you were there to reach in and grab my hand and pull me out. Amen. Hey, namaste. Thank you. And those are the things that drive me to continue to talk about topics that I no longer experience, because we are one. Remember that. It's not just because of Gangstalk. I'm talking about as humanity. We're going into a reality that we have to quit thinking of self. And that's something that I learned. You remember, I know I had a question saying, what do you do when you can't go out in public? That's one of the things I learned, that I am no more than the sum of everything in the universe. Therefore, your issue is my issue. And each one teach one. So I have to give you this as well. Each one teach one. The same way that we are going out to assist other people that's on this journey. You cannot forget the other people. That's right. Not just Gangstalk people. There's people that are in worse situations than being Gangstalk. I begin on my journey. I remember I started saying, hey, I'm going to make it my business to pass out money to the homeless people, whether they're going to drink it up or not, because I'm not God. I don't know what they're doing. God forbid that money that I was giving them was really for them to eat. And I began to focus my attention on other people. And when you do that, you don't have time to focus on things outside of yourself, like being targeted or things of this nature. You guys, 1 second. I'm sorry.
Sorry, because that's the reason that I couldn't see the Gangstalking for a whole year. I was so focused on myself, my reality, worried about myself. I was so focused on, relationship world. That was my thing. It was crazy, but as soon as I let that go, I started seeing it, and they started stalking me, and then it went to the children, and it was crazy.
But the end to it all was we endured to the end, and we beat it.
Yeah.
I think I'm gonna take a few more questions. Kaja Brown, I'm 23 when this started at 21, so 2 years now. I was already struggling with identity and self-esteem issues, trying to step into adulthood. And I feel like their treatment towards me made me more unsure of who I am. So something that we learned on our spiritual awakening journey is you control your reality. And that's something that you all are going to learn on this process of being Gangstalk. And don't take this offensive. Please, I love you guys. Please don't take offense to what I'm saying. We choose to allow someone else to make us feel bad. When me and my wife were just arguing before this thing came out, this is honest because we always are dealing with our ego. I chose to argue. I could easily say she made me argue, or she could say, well, he made me. But we take responsibility for what we experienced. So my suggestion, Miss Kaja, and again, love you, sis, is to take responsibility that it's not them that makes you feel that way. And this is my perception again, that say, hey, I feel this way, and I have to find self-love within myself. And when you find it, and you're going to find it, let me say this again, Miss Brown, you're going to find it because you're a beautiful soul. And when you find it, then nothing outside of you can ever make you feel any type of way. Miss Silver says, parents complaining about homeschooling is hard to hear. Breaks my heart every time I hear this. Are you still targeted? Dennis Allen, no, we are not targeted. Matter of fact, once our targeted ended, I remember they left the people who were doing the perps, as people call them, they left them without money to pay their rent. And I ended up hiring one of the guys that was doing it. And I never asked him because I didn't want to make him feel uncomfortable. But you should understand the humbleness that man had. And that's what we learn as light workers, that regardless of what you did to me, again, you don't control my reality. And when I took that back, I said, it's still my job to even bless those that were wicked to me. Tess says, Ernest J, peace. Namaste, Ernest J. Tess, I believe I'm stalked heavily due to being hit with energy weapons. Not sure, don't care anymore. And that's a great perspective. I, again, never really experienced the energy weapons. My wife did. So all we can respond to is based upon what we experienced. Hey, look what time it is, everybody. If you got a clock, I always tell everybody about synchronicity. Eastern time is 3:33. Check the clock. That's 3:33, baby. I mean, God, this is beautiful. I'm really enjoying doing this. But what my wife did was we are energetic beings, and we interact with energies. When you level up to a certain frequency, certain energies no longer affect you.
That's
For
true.
example, negativity is a frequency. It's an actual frequency. When you level beyond the frequency of negativity doesn't affect you. So let's say that these energy waves, which I'm not familiar with, I've heard so much about it through making videos. My perception is, because this is what I saw happen to my wife, because that stuff went away, the thoughts in her mind and left. She began to focus her attention so highly on love frequency, which is the highest frequency in existence, because creator is love, that frequencies that they were attempting to bombard her with, they couldn't touch her. The bandwidth wouldn't affect it. So my suggestion is to continue to focus on love till you raise your frequency so high that only love and kindness and abundance can come into your life. And that's
the main thing, because I experienced this, you have to change your focus off of yourself.
Correct.
I know it's affecting you, but that's why they're doing it to you, probably because you're focused on it. That has your focus. But once I took my focus off myself, my problems, what I'm experiencing, and focused on everybody else, my family, my neighbors, my coworkers, the cash register person, I became love and just stopped focusing on myself, and it went away. But I did experience that for a while, hearing noises, hearing phones and texting up under the sheets, and it just had my chest so tight I couldn't sleep. Oh, it was crazy. It was crazy.
Hey, and listen, I wanted to address, I'm sorry, Dennis Allen. Dennis, you said it's easier when you have someone with courage next to you. You're solo in New York and around cowards. I have to say this to you.
Whole year. I wasn't there for a whole year.
An entire year.
I called him crazy.
I experienced what you experienced.
A whole year. I thought he was crazy.
My wife called me crazy. She said I'm a sick person. She wanted to leave me.
I was ready to leave.
I was alone. And I believe that sometimes the universe allows the stronger to be alone in the beginning of the process. I know I hear a lot of people say, and not you guys, but I get some negative comments saying the only reason that we're okay is because we had each other. Well, the truth is, it was because me holding on to my belief that love conquers all, me diving into myself was the reason that God gave me my wife to join back in union with me. I hated that they started attacking her when she believed me. But for an entire year and a few months, Mr. Dennis, I actually walked this journey alone. Even my children looked at me as if I was crazy.
Yeah, they did.
And it's a hard experience, but remember, God gives, or the creator or source or energy or your higher self, whichever way you perceive that, it gives more stress to the strongest of the packs. So if you're enduring this alone, it's probably because the universe knows that you are the forerunners. See, the universe chooses the strongest to lead the pack. The shepherd leads the sheep. I hope that addressed that for you. It's easier when you have someone. I'm near Philly. When they follow you and gaslight you in stores. Oh yeah, Miss Brown. When they follow you and gaslight you in stores, should you just ignore and turn the other cheek, or verbally defend yourself? Now, I'm going to answer that from our experience. I used to try to listen. My wife was always, when don't say that to him, I was the one to get up in your face in the beginning process. Okay, I'm like, hey man, quit following me, yo. And I realized that when I was doing that, I was giving my power to those people. So my suggestion is, while they're doing their thing, let them do their life. That's their life. You focus on your life, and your life is to be a shining light in this dark world. So I started just making my objective for every cashier. Have you ever noticed when you walk to a cash register, you just put your groceries on the thing? Most people just put their groceries on and people scan them. That person is doing a service for you.
That's right.
I started calling them by the names on their badges. And to the point that when I walk into this pool of Walmart, when they see these faces, every cashier at that pool of Walmart that I live at, they're like, hey, you guys, hey, because they've never experienced someone who takes their time out to focus their attentions on them.
That's right.
So while the Gangstalkers were focusing their attentions on me, they were creating that reality. I was focusing my attentions on showing love to other people.
We took their energy. We're gonna use the energy they giving us to give out to the people. That's how we.
Yeah, most definitely. Hey, listen, and I like this question. Twin 29210 said, "Is synchronicity a part of it or something else?" Synchronicities, those numbers that you're seeing on the tags, it's the universe telling you, and it's actually meaning that you're leveling up. I know sometimes in the beginning I used to see the numbers on the tags, and I used to think it's the Gangstalker.
I know,
but the truth was
it's showing us the same numbers.
That's the universe. It was the universe.
You that number.
Listen, you're only being gangstalked because you have chosen to level your energies up. And those beings, because I don't want to get into that, I'll explain that for another segment. But those beings know that you're leveling up and you're about to create a new world that they no longer exist in. So they attack us. They like, boom, we got his frequency's up. AI said, hey, his frequency's up. We gotta get him. And that's how they pick us. Okay, it's because you move different. You shift different than everyone else shifting. And with all of this technology, they can tell that you vibration is different. So synchronicities do have nothing to do with them people. If anything, they wish that you never see another synchronicity in your life, because you're gonna start realizing that those numbers are telling you what's to come. It's giving you forbearance and telling you to hold on through strength, and it's telling you signs. 888, prosperity is coming. So when you're feeling like you're broke, I don't know how to pay the bill, and you keep seeing 888, just smile, baby, because the universe is going to drop that blessing on you. And listen, we're going to take a few more questions. It's starting to rain out here. It's getting on the laptop. Next time I'm going to have to set up inside of the house so that I can assist as much as possible. So I'm going to answer a few more questions. So throw your questions in the queue. I'm going to answer as many as I can real quick. Love y'all. We love you too, Dennis.
Love you.
Blessings from Tess, or blessings to Dennis. Okay. Do this again, please. I'm going to try my best to work this into doing all of the other things that we're doing. And please, you guys, share it so that other people can join in, so that we can start doing more streaming for more people that are going through this process. See, just these 40 minutes, 8 seconds, we've all focused our attention on positivity together. That means us as a whole are creating. We're powerful individuals. All together. Say it one more time. We just went from targeted individuals to powerful individuals in 40 minutes.
That's right.
This is the process that we had to take, and this is the process that we're all taking.
She asked this.
Kadra Brown says, how do you combat suicidal thoughts when they enter? To realize that those are not your thoughts.
Those are not your thoughts.
Those are not your thoughts. You know why, Miss Kadra Brown? Because you are a loving being. That's why it's coming for you. See, if anyone's in this queue, I can bet you I can tell one thing about all of you. For no amount of money would you ever gang stalk anyone. You see? See, only people that live in reverse. Remember, to live in reverse, LIVE is EVIL. So if you were living and then they're attacking you and putting suicidal thoughts into your mind, know that those are not your thoughts. And really make yourself laugh, because they're telling you that you are a threat to them. So if you hear the thoughts, keep yourself saying, oh, I must be kicking your butt. I must be kicking your butt. Let's do the jig. You know, listen, I love life so much, Miss Brown. Just know that you're kicking their behind if that's what they want you to do.
That's right.
Hey, and to talk about that, I never had them speak into my mind, because I've always known, and that's a gift that I've had. I've always known when thoughts were mine. And I do remember one time having a thought that wasn't mine. And I said, wait a minute, this is not my thought. But because I noticed that they probably said in the program, hey, this dude here is mine is completely different. I've always been a thinker since childhood, since birth. I've been like this. So it didn't affect me. But I pray that you understand that those are not your thoughts. Kadra, ignore is the best thing to do. And Dennis is right. To ignore is one of the best things to do, to not just ignore, but ignore and focus on something else.
Right.
Positive.
Ignore and focus on your intentions.
It will get better. Hold on to hope, man. It's all right. I was homicidal at one point. What saved me is I knew I would break my mom's heart. 100, that's real. And 100, I want to say this to you because I've always been noticing from your cues, and I want to give this to you. You are almost to your breaking. You're almost to your breakthrough. And that's funny that you always post me 888 manifestations. You're at your breaking point. I can tell by your energetic, by just seeing your things. I always want to tell you this. If you could help right now, I beg you, man, maybe it's time for you to start making YouTubes. Maybe you should start getting out of that box to start assisting other people, because it's only a few of us out here that are almost through that breaking point of being able to break this. Because I promised those people, I promised those beings that attacked me and my family. And I said this to them. My wife would tell you this. I told them, just because you left, I'm not done with you. I said, I'm coming for you. Okay. And we're going to build up our army so big in love frequency that we're going to crush it, that they never come with this program on planet Earth again.
That's right.
So I'm asking Mr. 100, please, sir, start getting in there and assisting other light workers, because you are actually on your, like you said, higher self. You're already on your journey for your higher self, brother. Namaste. I want to live my own life. Miss Silverera, believe it or not, you already began living your own life. You took control of your life today by being one of the first people to hit in on this podcast. I'm on this live. So you're already the journey. I want to answer one more question, then I have something that I want to say. Facts, the community, higher self. Helping others makes hearts happy. You're so right. So I want to say this, and I'm going to end the segment. The quote that me and my wife always say, woo, the power has been with you all along. I want you to go back and watch The Wizard of Oz, because this is going to prove to you all that this is going to end, and that actually it's already ended. You just haven't acknowledged that it's ended yet. So I'm going to explain this. When Dorothy went to the land of Oz, the only thing she wanted to do was to go back home. She wanted to go back to normality, to normalizations. The entire time she was looking for the wizard, this thing outside of her. Like a lot of people in some of those gang stalking target individual groups, they're always looking outside for the president or the government or the lawyers or something outside of them to fix it, like she did, looking for the wizard. And through her journey of isolation, from being to her norm, at the very end, she realized that the slippers on her feet that she had the second she arrived in this matrix, or the second she arrived in the Gangstalk world, or the second that she arrived in the land of Oz, she realized that the power had been with her.
Yep.
All along.
Right on her feet.
So what we're saying right now is the power is already with you, Miss Brown, Mr. Allen, Mr. Hundredth, Miss Silvera. The power has always been with you. And what the reason why they're making you focus your attention on them so much is because they beg that you never realize to tap into your power. Listen, the second we tapped in our power and Gangstalking ended, we created a company, and it did $500,000 last year. We right now are doing selling as a face mask for alternative masks. The universe has been manifesting in abundance and overtime. And now, and I'm gonna say this, and then I'm gonna let you go. Evolution. I love that. Is I am so grateful that those people came into my life to gangstalk me and my family.
Yeah, we are grateful now.
We are grateful for them. So grateful that I had to hire one of the guys, like I was telling you, because it actually pushed me to evolve.
That's right.
Remember this. A diamond is no more than coal that's pressed down into the earth's crust, pushed hard with a lot of heat. And over the time, like we're doing during our isolation, the diamond surfaces up, and it's a beautiful thing that transmutes light.
That's right.
You are going through the diamond refining process. You're going through the refining process like gold goes through the refining of the fire. And when you come out of it, woo, you're going to know that the power had been with you all along. I love you all. I love you all. We love you. We love you.
Thank y'all.
And please share this one once this video comes out, and let other people know this is a community for us to all come together so that we can ride this wave of positivity together. I love you, Tess. Thank you. Dennis, Black Folks Ass, Dennis Allen. Oh yeah, I got you. Namaste. I'm still not out completely though. No, you are
on your journey.
You're on your journey.
It's the process.
It's the process. Miss Silvera, thank you. And listen, you guys, we hopefully will get back shortly and do this again. I'm gonna try to do it. We'll try our best to do it once a week. Please share it so other people can know. If you haven't subscribed, subscribe, and we're gonna keep on this process together, you guys. Namaste.
Namaste.